Yo,
Hello, Captain.
hey, Mr. Mans.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Are you standing up?
no.
You look like you're standing up.
Uh, what?
Can I ask you
What?
another? Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Have you've been doing some push-ups? You've been doing a
Uh,
little push-up action in quarantine?
yeah. Can you tell?
Yeah, I can tell, you son of a.
Nice. Is the standing up thing weird?
No, it's a good angle. You look very tall.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah. I
You.
mean, well, there's like the piano's like there, so and there's my seat.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I think it's like it's really quite close to me. Maybe that's
Are you in your room?
your room.
Nice. Okay, there it is. That's why I know exactly where you are now.
Yeah. I thought I'd get the piano in, make it people
Yep.
think I can play it.
If you look over your left shoulder, are
Yeah.
there sheep?
Yeah. And lambs. Tiny lambs.
Hello. Sorry, I don't know if I froze up or you froze up. Are there sheep out there?
Yes. And lambs, like really small lambs. I'm looking at them all right now. And it's a beautiful night, like the sun is just setting on the hill. And it's beautiful. Are you us that's on this right now?
And what's that?
Is it just us that's on this right now?
Hmm.
I
No,
think
I mean everyone can hear us and see us.
oh, they can? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go them then.
Well, I should have said that you couldn't, but that would have maybe made it for an interesting panel, but I wouldn't do that to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, for those that may not know, can you please tell everyone why you talk funny?
Well, I come from a country where people generally talk funny, and in particular, a city that has such a strong accent that no one can understand us when we are speaking. And like you found out on our last tour in February when we had spent some time in Glasgow, and I I said something to you and you had no idea what I said. So I repeated myself and it still didn't land. And then I had to remember that you weren't from Glasgow. So I had to, really slow down, pronounce my words so that you could understand.
For those that don't know, someone asked me to do a cameo a few weeks back, and they gave me a list of songs that I could sing, and then they said, or you could just do an impression of Paul. And so I said, well, I am going to pick that. And here's what happened. Sometimes when we're on tour, for the most part, Paul will take his time when he speaks, because he remembers that when he doesn't, I don't understand what he's going to say. So, and by the way, for those of you that are like, I can understand him fine, he is talking so slowly right now.
It's true.
This is like half speed for Paul, and he is enunciating like an English gentleman right now. But we were in the car, and he looked over and he's like, "Whatever." And I just looked at him. I didn't know if it was words or if he was clearing his throat. And then he was like, "Jay, whatever, look." Like, oh, that is not, buddy. What? And then he kind of laughed and he went, "Right, sorry, Jay, what do you want for lunch?"
It's very accurate. It's very accurate.
And the closer we get, we play a couple cities in England, and then we go up to Scotland, and we play a couple cities in Scotland, and then we kind of work our way back down to London. We've done that two years in a row now. And the closer we get to Glasgow, the more difficulty I have understanding what Paul is saying.
And like I've said this before, you know, it's kind of a compliment if you don't understand me, because that means I'm very comfortable. So I just kind of revert back to my comfort zone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I speak really quickly. But yeah, you make a good point that people saying they can understand me right now is half of half speed. So yeah.
Yeah. And also I know that it's a compliment when I can't understand you, which is why sometimes I choose to nod and smile, because I'd rather have that moment. I'd rather have that connection of like friendship than understand what the hell you just said.
You're taking it and you're savoring it. I appreciate that.
That's right.
You know, I understand that. And by the way, I'd just like to point out that I was listening into your panel there with Loud and Swain, and I'm going to have a word with all those boys next time I see them for their accent comments.
That's fair. That's fair. So
I've got. Oh, I've just realized.
What's that?
I've just realized there's a huge sign on my screen that says "Everyone can see and hear you." So
they were letting you know.
Yeah.
One of our as I moderate, I try to keep an eye on the chat, and I try to maybe curate a few specific questions for you. Fries would like to know if you could give her some Scottish bass.
Like fish? Scottish bass? As in
maybe sass?
Or Scottish sass?
Or bass?
Bass?
I don't know.
Fries, what are you asking?
There's a lot of people swooning over the accent right now. It's mostly just at the moment I'm trying to find a question for you, but it's mostly just if I'm being honest, thirsty comments about your wonderful accent.
You know, for all the jokes that get made about my accent in our circle, it seems to have a good effect on people. You know,
by people you mean women, don't you?
Yeah, I was trying to be like, you know, PC, but yeah.
Leslie is a sucker for an accent.
Leslie, hi Leslie.
That out there.
I mean, accents work. You know, accents. It's a very well-known fact that accents have a good effect on people. You know,
Paul, do you ever have problems understanding me?
And I wish I could say yes, but I don't. You're always very. You speak at a nice speed, nice level, very articulate. So I can't say that I do.
That was my look. That was my that look you think that I gave to the drummer. That was the actual.
Yeah. It's still one of my favorites.
So Sarah said she grew up translating Kenny Dalglish on MOTD for her parents.
Kenny
Does that mean something to you? Because it doesn't mean anything to me.
So Kenny Dalglish he's like a Scottish legend. He was a football player or a soccer player, where you come from. And MOTD was a TV show that was on every Saturday night, and it showed the highlights from all the football games through the day. And it's called Match of the Day. So Kenny Dalglish, I think he's from Glasgow or somewhere close to me at least. So he's got a very strong accent as well. But yeah, I like that. That's cool. Wait, so how can she, well, maybe I shouldn't ask them questions. I don't know.
I mean, you can if there's no rules.
I mean, I was just wondering.
Very specific. They were like, "Listen, no rules.
Just go for it."
Yeah.
I mean, I was just wondering, like, why was she translating for her parents? Like, you know, how could she understand the Scottish accent? I was just wondering that.
Yeah,
you know, fair question.
At some point later on in this panel, we may get to the answer to that as I scroll slowly down.
I'm intrigued.
Fries would like to reiterate that it was sass, not bass or bass, and that's on me. I apologize.
Sass. Sass. I don't know.
Joe, hi Joe, would like to know if you could sing the song that you sang for Ash, and I'm pretty sure she did this when she said it last night.
that song. I mean, if I can remember the words, this is probably the worst request that I've ever had in my life. I'm just gonna put that out there. And it was like, you may know it, you know, having young kids, but it goes like baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo 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 doo, baby shark, mama shark doo doo, and then so on and so on and so on. So apparently that's Ashley's favorite song ever. You know,
that song came out, I don't know when, a year ago, 2 years ago.
Oh wait, no. Oh, maybe it was a different song. Maybe it was the one I'm going to play next week.
Well, listen, I think Baby Shark was a fantastic song for you to sing. And someone asked me about it a couple years ago, and I got cocky because I hadn't heard it yet. And my kids were watching this like Motown Kids show. And so they were like walking around the house, sugar pie, honey bunch, singing stuff like that. And I was like, well, my kids don't sing Baby Shark. My kids sing Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
And little did I know that pride comes before fall, because I have heard and sung Baby Shark 17,000 times since I said that. And I will probably have to hear it 14 or 15 times before I go to sleep tonight.
Oh man, is it a TV show? I don't even know what it is. Is it a TV show?
No, it's just like a YouTube.
I mean, see, to be fair, of all the songs that I could probably think of, there's maybe a few that pip it, of course, but I would have loved to have written Baby Shark. I'm pretty sure that person is raking it in.
They're doing all right.
Yeah.
They're doing okay. Because even at the 0.003 cents we get per stream, if it gets streamed 1 billion times, you're doing all right.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that can't be far off 1 billion streams.
No, I think it is. I think it has had over 1 billion. The original YouTube video, I think it's over 1 billion plays.
Scary, man. That's scary. So, by the way,
Chasing echoes about your role in Outlander?
No, because it was written before that. It was written a long time before that, actually.
Sengru is very happy that she gets to spend her birthday with you tonight.
Happy birthday. Is that Sandra?
Sangru 76.
I think that may be Sandra.
And for those of you that think I can't read, you're not completely wrong. But also, the chat, when I'm reading something, the chat will jump when other people put stuff in.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like a stage.
I was making a funny because I thought that Fries was saying, "Hey, give me some of that Scottish bass."
Right,
but I didn't really read it. And I made the joke of she was asking you for a Scottish bass. Been doing a lot of fishing lately. It seemed funny to me. but I didn't really read it. I just glanced at it, and then it
Yeah.
moved out of my screen.
Yeah.
And then when I scrolled back up, I realized that I was very, very far off.
But I mean, Scottish bass, because I've got a low voice, you know.
Right.
Scottish bass is a lot of fishing.
I thought it was
I liked
appropriate.
it. I liked it. You know.
What part do you play in Outlander?
Oh, it was
Aaron
just
would like to know.
two small parts I had in Outlander actually, and I played a. I was a stall owner, and I was selling like materials and stuff like that. And in the fifth series, I think I played a mercenary soldier, which was really cool because I got rifles and blades, and the costume was incredible. But it was really cool because obviously you know Sam, so it was cool to have that connection with Sam Hewn on set. And I was like, oh, I'm Jason Mans. And he's like, oh, cool. So it was a really good icebreaker, you know, to talk to Sam.
He is one of the nicest dudes.
Yeah,
I have ever met in my life.
Yeah, super nice.
Just like not a hint of famous guy about him. You know what I mean? Like just one of those dudes where he's just like, yeah, man, what's up? You know?
Yeah, sure. It was interesting because the first scene,
like that guy a lot. I got, funny enough.
When you go.
No, you. This is your panel. You go.
It was interesting on that point of that he's not like doesn't act like a huge star, you know, because when he first walked into the room when we were doing this scene, his persona and his presence was huge, you know, and it was like, wow, man, that's the main man, you know. He's just walked into the room. That's Sam Hewn, but. Like you say, as soon as I spoke to him, you think there may be something there because he is a star and his presence is very big and very strong. But as soon as I started talking to him, it's like we're talking right now. You know, there was none of that. It was just, oh, nice. We spoke about you, how we knew each other, the cons in Rome that you guys did together, and yeah, there was just nothing of that sort. You know, like any ego or anything like that. So it was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, funny enough, he was at Gibland.
Yeah.
And I was hosting that, and so we got to hang out a little bit there. And then the next year he was supposed to be there, but he didn't make it. And so then they did like a special event just for him. And it was a really tiny event in Rome, and it was later on in the year after Jib and Gibland, and they had me host that as well, but it was like it had a completely different vibe. Like there was less than 100 people there, and it was just him, so it was like a meet and greet, but it lasted a couple days. And it was super fun. So obviously, we got to hang out a lot that weekend and got to know each other pretty well, but it's not like we, go fishing on the weekends or anything. Like I don't see him that often. But for some reason, he is one of those dudes that pops up on my peripheral. You sent me a text. You're like, hey man, I'm doing the show or whatever when you were working on Outlander. So I sent him a text, like, hey, my buddies, whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, he was going to keep an eye out for you. And then I got somewhat recently, a buddy of mine was on a cruise. Yeah. That he was on.
Wow.
So totally random. I got text messages like, hey, this buddy of yours on this cruise. So weird how that stuff just small world.
It really is, man. Scary. And
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, everybody that I meet knows you.
Well, not everybody.
Most people I meet, it's which is a compliment, I think.
I mean, it would depend on what they said about me.
Oh, they say good things about you, yeah.
But
all of them, nearly all of them, yeah.
except that one guy. Man, that guy hates me. So Joe said no, that was the song, and she's laughing out loud at home. Thank you very much.
Okay, I got it right. Okay, cool.
I know I will not sing that song.
Because, by the way, the other song was a Bon Jovi song that there's a part in the Bon Jovi song that is it's pretty difficult, especially with my voice so low compared to Bon Jovi's. So I really need to work on it to get it right. And I was like, oh, I'll play that next week for you. So next week came and I still didn't have it ready. So she said, if you say you're going to play it next week, I'm going to have to do a shot. So I said, I'll play it next week. And then I said, I'll play it next week like 10 times. Just for laughs. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe it was that one.
So for folks who are tuning in to the festival and beyond, who may not be quite as familiar with you as the rest of us are, how'd you get hooked up in this fandom?
Oh, it's actually a good story. It's kind of long, but you know Steve Carlson, right?
Of course, yeah.
So I'd played with Steve since 2011, I think, 2010 maybe, around that time. And we played a bunch of London shows together, like at the Underbelly, Half Moon and Putney. We played in Edinburgh together.
Now, when you say together, do you mean you would open for him?
Yeah.
Did you ever play with Kane?
No, but I was at one of Kane's show with Matt, your brother. So I know Christian Kane as well. So I know all those guys. And funny that I met Matt at a show I was opening for Steve, which was crazy because I knew Matt before you, and then I didn't know that you guys were brothers. That was a whole other story. But so Steve had booked a show in London, and he'd asked me to open for him, but something happened and he had to cancel. So then he brought in The Final Wish, which was Emo's band. And Emo was like, oh, well, if I'm coming over to do that, I may as well do a show in Germany. So then he asked Sabine to come over and do the London show. And I opened up for him, and Emo loved what I did. So I finished my set and went backstage. And before The Final Wish went on stage, Emo was like, hey, loved your set, man. Do you want to come play in Germany with us? And I'm like, when? He's like, tomorrow. Very emo, you know? And I was like, sure, why not? So then Sabine came in the room and she was like, okay, you guys ready to go on stage? And Emo was like, yeah, we're just going to go. By the way, Paul's coming to Germany with us. And Sabine was like, great, okay, you know. And Emo was like, I should have probably asked you first, Sabine, but, you know, I asked Paul first. So then we went to Germany, did the show over there, and that's where I met Hayden. Because Hayden did that show as well. So then through those couple of shows, Sabine really liked what I did, and she thought it would fit well with the likes of you and Rob. And then I think she went to see you guys in LA, right? At a convention or a show or something. It was something like that. And I think she was like, there's this guy from Scotland, I think he would work really well. And you and Rob had a tour coming up in Germany. And you guys agreed to let me do the opening slot in Frankfurt. So that's where I first met you guys. I mean, 6 or 7 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
And then we went to London and you brought me up on stage and we did Wagon Wheel together. And then that was all she wrote. I think from there we did the first Rockwood, and then we did the Station Breaks tour in Germany that I opened up for you guys, and some more Rockwoods, and then you and I started doing our own tours together. And that's how it all started, basically, just by sheer luck, really, that Steve had to cancel that gig, and Emo was drafted in. So it's really cool, you know, and I'm really, I don't take that for granted, you know. That's I count my lucky stars that it went down that way, you know. But
I mean, I feel like most of us peripheral players in the situation that we're in, we all kind of count the lucky stars,
yeah,
which is you know, to be able to be in front of fans like these and
yeah, for
do what
sure.
we love to do. You know, it's a pretty lucky break for everybody.
Yeah.
So now that you're in this particular situation, do you have any interesting fan experiences that you would like to share with us?
Um, interesting fan experiences.
Mm-hmm. Or just like what's like a funny, weird,
Oh,
or touching, or anything, just like any kind of
I
like.
mean, in general, the support that the fans give me is mind blowing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and through the stage at shows and stuff that we're doing right now because we can't play live is, you know, it's incredible. And the messages that they send me just to tell me, you know, how much they like my music, and I'm truly thankful for that. A funny story that I always like to think about is the Chasing Echoes story, and I was playing in Germany. I don't even. Maybe we had met once, I think, or once or twice, maybe. And so I played a set in Germany, and after one of the shows, the girl came up to me and she said, "Oh, I love that Jensen Ackles song," and I didn't know anything about Supernatural at this point. I didn't know who Jensen was or Jared or anybody, and I was like, "The what song?" And she was like, "You know, the song about Jensen Ackles," and I was like, "I don't." I didn't even know that was someone's name. You know, I was like, "What is a Jensen? What is an Ackles?" I'm trying, trying to figure out what that is. And I was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "You know, the song where you sing, 'Am I just Jensen Ackles?'" And I was like, "Oh, you mean Am I Chasing Echoes?" And her face was just like, "Oh, oh." Sorry. I thought it was about Jensen Ackles. I was like, so that's just kind of stuck now. And every time I sing that song, it's now became affectionately known as the Jensen Ackles song. And now I like to slip in other supernatural names, you know.
So yeah, I remember you told that story once, and then sang the song, and in place of Chasing Echoes, you sang Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
And the crowd went crazy. And then I feel like maybe you got a little cocky, because then you tried to fit Jared Padalecki in there. And let's just be honest, that does not fit. That doesn't fit in the same space.
It's a true story. You know,
it was funny though.
when you're riding that wave from the crowd, you know, you just got to try things.
Oh yeah. I've been there many times when you're like, oh yeah, I can do no wrong, and then you do something, you're like, that was wrong.
Oh yeah. You learn the hard way.
Could you? I see your guitar behind you there. Would you mind just playing just a little bit of Chasing Echoes, just so they can hear
Sure.
that line in context and understand the mistake that was made?
You want me to sing Jensen?
No, sing the real lyric.
So you want me to do just the chorus, or do you want me to sing like a verse in the chorus?
Like sing the end of the verse into the chorus to set it up.
Oof, that's tricky to remember that. I'll sing something there. Follow my forefathers, fight for the cause, but I got left behind. Time forgot to pause. Yes, and them I just chasing echoes, and that's it.
Yeah, it once I heard the story and then I heard the song again. I never don't hear "Am I just Jensen Ackles?" Like that, I hear it. I can't not hear it now that I know the story.
I mean, it's kind of ruined the song in a good way, of course. But do you remember?
Similarly, I have a song called "Move," and the chorus is "Baby, when you move me," but I hold "move" out a really long time, and fans started saying, "When you move me," and then there was fan art of cows singing to each other, and now I can't not. It's all when I sing that song, I just see cows in love.
See, that's funny. I kind of like that.
So, what if you could do a duet with anyone alive? Who would it be? I got this one. You would say Bruce Springsteen.
Yep, nailed it.
I should ask the questions and then answer them for you.
You should. I mean, yeah.
Let's see. Well, here's a question for you though. Springsteen or Cash?
Ooh, that's toughy. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm still. Ooh, that's toughy. I'm still leaning to Springsteen. I mean, Cash is wow. I think Cash is more legendary than Springsteen, but I think Springsteen's style I'm more attracted to. Does that make sense? I feel that I feel like we would bounce off each other better than I would with Johnny Cash. I think.
Maybe. I mean, it's tough to know. I mean, which decade of Cash are we talking about? I would think that like a Cash from the 60s would be pretty similar to a Springsteen from the 80s, or
yeah, true.
You know,
yeah,
both pretty rebellious and.
I wouldn't complain either way. Put it that way.
So let's see. I'm looking through the. What is one thing that you have wanted to do but haven't gotten to do yet?
Share the stage with Springsteen for one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate, goal for me, would be to be able to share the stage with Springsteen. That would be amazing.
Solid.
Yeah, that's it.
Someone asked me for a dad joke, so I'm just gonna say this real quick. There's only 3 kinds of people in this world: those that can count and those that can't. There it is.
I feel like I laugh way too hard at those kind of jokes, but they're so funny.
That's funny. Why, Lily would like to know, I'm paraphrasing, why did you pick Perfect Spot as the song to cover?
A few reasons. It's a stunning song. I think not just because it's your song, but I think it's one of the most beautiful songs that I've ever heard and ever.
Oh my God, that is very kind.
I truly mean that. 2 is a more simplistic reason, because I threw your name into ultimateguitar.com, and a couple of songs came up, and that was the easiest one to play.
Also a very, very good reason. That is the way I have picked a significant portion of my repertoire.
But it's a stunning song, and it's. But I think that I looked on Ultimate Guitar for it because I was messing around on guitar, and I found a kind of chord structure, and I was like, oh wait, that sounds like Perfect Spot. So I was like, oh, maybe I could try that, and then that's when I looked it up.
Right on.
But it's a good song.
You working on, been writing in the lockdown?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. working on a few songs actually, which I feel are the best songs that I've created so far. So I'm really excited about them. Put some finishing touches on them, and eventually get them recorded. But yes, very, very excited about the new stuff.
Right on. I will just, I'm gonna brag on you for a second.
Mm-hmm.
7-8 years ago, when we first met, and I would see you play your set, compared to the stuff that you played on tour, and the stuff that we heard at the last Rockwood, there was a moment when we were sitting over there, and it was like me and Emma, who's coming up next, Rob, and maybe Brianna, I think. We were all sitting over on the side, and you were playing some of your new songs, and all four of us were just like, that dude has gotten so much freaking better at everything, like the craft of songwriting, the performance aspect, the comfortability on stage, like just, commanding a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of like the past probably 6 years. If there was like a most improved, you'd get it hands down, man. The new stuff is awesome. And I have thoroughly enjoyed watching you grow as a musician.
Thank you. It means a lot to hear that, because I'm sure, as you know yourself, you put so much work into your craft to try and become better, to try and become a better writer and a better player, and try and hone all those skills, So it's really good to hear that. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well deserved. Speaking of Emma, she's coming up next.
She is
in a few moments. So, is there anything you would like to say to the fans? Anything you'd like to leave with the folks before you sign off?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you guys for your support over all the years and your continued support through these crazy times, and I hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy. And I wanted to check out a video that I did with my friend Brian Collins, which is for like the NHS and first responders, all the key workers. And his song is "Shine a Little Love," and the lyrics in the song are "We are all in this together," which is a phrase that's been batted around quite a lot in these times, because the whole world is in this. We're all in it together. So go check out the video. It's on YouTube. Brian Collins, "Shine a Little Love," and it's all different musicians. The guys from Zach Brown Band are in it. A lot of old school musicians do it, some actors and stuff like that. So it's a really good message that's getting put across, and it's helping a lot of people, like key workers and medical staff and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
And what is your handle on Twitter? And I'm guessing that you have a link on Twitter that people can click.
Yes. Yeah. So my handle is just at Paul Carella. And I'll tweet about it again, and they can check it out. Or I'll pin the tweet actually, because I've already tweeted about it. Because it's a big chain of messages. But
maybe even after you sign off, you could just put the link in the chat here, and folks could.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Save it for later, perhaps.
Yeah, good idea. I like it.
Right on. Well, I would say that's probably about it.
Sweet.
Do you have any other jokes?
I have lots of jokes, but I always forget them when I get asked. They're all dad jokes. I've got a joke about a boomerang that's so funny, and I can't remember it.
Just won't come back to you.
Hey, that's a tag team joke. I'm gonna high five that. But yeah, thanks guys for joining me, and thanks to Jason for moderating. Thanks to Nerds and Beyond for putting it on. It's been a good fun, and I'll be tuning into Emma's after this too. So
Right
keep
on.
the Scottish accent jokes to a minimum. jokes to a minimum.
So if you could, Paul, just to say goodbye, I need you to get in a little closer to the camera, and I need you to give them the low note, and just tell them it was really good to see them. You know, you'll see them next time. But no one. They all tuned in for the bass, and you didn't give them any of the bass yet.
Okay. What do you mean? Should I sing it, or I don't know if I can talk that low? You know.
However you feel the need to sign off, just maybe rattle them a little bit.
I think my I don't know if I can do it in a Scottish accent. Maybe it's an American accent. Maybe that's how I get so deep. I don't know.